briefing. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us on our news briefing for this Wednesday. This is our regular Wednesday briefing, so we've moved our storm and recovery information to this briefing. Thank you very much for being with us today. We're going to go ahead and get started with an overview, kind of where we are right now with recovery. We have Kelsey Scanlon with our Department of Emergency Services here to walk us through where we are right now. Hi, Kelsey.
Hello, thank you so much for having us. So the Monterey County Emergency Operations Center is still activated to a level 2 for our overall recovery efforts for the Pajaro and surrounding communities. Essentially what you're seeing is that transition from response to recovery. I know everyone's used to the fairly rapid response pace that you see in government services. So I just wanted to take a moment to thank everyone. I know people are still working diligently, and there's that change of pace from response to recovery, but work is still actively being done, and recovery is going to take several months, if not years. And so we do appreciate everyone's patience and understanding that recovery is far more complex than response, and as such, the services that are provided in recovery are also not just mindful in how we are utilizing money so that we can, maximize reimbursement from FEMA if we do get the declaration, but also ensuring that the services that are provided are done so in a safe and equitable way. So what you'll hear from the speakers that come after me are just that. They're the additional resources and services that are coming into the Pajaro community, especially the ones that are managed by the county, and the complexities of those programs to have them effectively serve those impacted by the flooding, but also ensuring that we're essentially reducing suffering and protecting lives and property. So I did want to, as I said again, thank everyone, our media partners, the community. We'll be doing this for a very long time in terms of recovery, and we appreciate your patience. We love the questions, and we're happy to provide edification on everything that we're doing. And so with that, I'm going to hand it over to Laura. She's managing our curbside debris removal program. And before she gets started, I do want to acknowledge the hard work of the Department of Emergency Management staff, as well as Monterey County Public Works and Environmental Health. This curbside debris removal program is quite literally the fastest program I've ever seen stood up in response to or in the recovery phases after a significant event like this. For context, the 2020 wildfire private property debris removal program took about 3 to 4 months to stand up, and we were able to accomplish our current debris removal program in about 3 days. And that was in no small effort by county agencies coming together to identify a solution and getting boots on the ground as fast as we could. And also a huge shout out to Cal OES for providing technical expertise here in Monterey County and assisting our communities. So thank you so much for your time. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us at the Emergency Operations Center or the Department of Emergency Management.
Thank you very much, Kelsey. Laura, can you pick up from where Kelsey left off and tell us what is happening with debris removal?
Yeah, so thank you, Kelsey. And it definitely was, I think, a big joint effort to get this program kicked off quickly between our office and Environmental Health and Public Works. So we officially started our operations on Monday. We are continuing to upstaff and increase our debris teams. And so to give a little information on the debris teams. So we have a contractor who's helping us actually remove waste and debris and flood debris from the right of way. And they are working in partnership with our debris assessment team who's actually going out there and making sure that we're separating things correctly for the landfill to make sure we can dispose of everything properly. And then they're also joined by the Department of Toxic Substance Control, who is first identifying any toxics or hazardous household waste and e-waste and separating that out for disposal, since those have a very particular disposal requirement. So those debris teams are moving throughout the community. They started on Monday. We're hoping to be up to 6 teams by tomorrow. We're also starting a drop-off collection center for flood debris that will be near the corner of Railroad Ave and Salinas Road, most likely starting tomorrow. So for residents who would prefer not to do curbside pickup, they can drop off flood debris and we will handle it there. And again, that would similarly be sorted. So the sorting of the debris, I know has come up as a question, and that's really important because it does help us make sure that we can do this quicker and faster, and we can make sure the household hazardous waste and e-waste reaches the right stream, that household materials reach the right place, and then same with the white goods, and then the mud and debris. So currently, I know that we are working as fast as we can, continuing to up staff. Generally, we are estimating kind of our first pass at this will likely take 4 to 6 weeks to clear all the debris. And I know it may seem, that the progress is slow, because once we take, one load of stuff, people are then able to put out, additional things from their home, which we are encouraging. We're not going to, just go down a street once. We will continue, throughout our entire first phase to go back and, give people more space. And that's sort of what we see on the volunteer end as well. So the volunteers in the initial stages have been really helping just like kind of get out the mud and debris out of people's homes. But over the next few weeks, more specialized volunteers will be in the area who might be able to help residents with more of a drywall removal, carpet removal. And then, we can come back for some of those additional materials throughout the first phase of this. Likely after that 4 to 6 week period, once we're really seeing a decline in the amount of debris, we will take a pause at that point, give people some time to continue to work on their homes, come back and do another pass to make sure that, people have as many opportunities as possible to get their debris picked up. So, as Kelsey said, recovery is unfortunately, I think, a slow process, and we are trying to make it as quick and rapid as we possibly can in order to get the community back on their feet and to get all of our debris cleaned up as quickly as possible.
Thank you very much, Laura, for giving us that overview and walking us through where we are to date. Please stay on the line because I know we'll have some questions for you about debris removal. I see we have someone from Pajaro, Sunny Mesa. I think Don Rosa is with us. We're very pleased to have him join us on the briefing. We get a lot of questions about water. When will the water be safe to drink? And Don, I'm hoping you can tell us more about that and the process for getting the water potable water available to customers.
Yes, happy to do that. Don Rosa, General Manager, Pajaro Sunny Mesa Community Service District. We are in charge of the water in the Pajaro water system as well as the Sunny Mesa. This report covers them both. They are identical as to the current status. So we are under bottled water order, still remains in place for both water systems. So again, please do not drink or cook with that water. The district staff, the water operators, are actively conducting the second round of water sampling that is been required by the Water Resource Control Board. We did the first round of sampling last week, and the results started to trickle in a few days ago. Everything looks promising. Bacteria is all negative, nothing, no outliers. Everything's looking good so far. We decided in conjunction with the state that it would be wise to do a more comprehensive second round of sampling, which we are currently undertaking now, and all those samples will be delivered to the lab within a couple hours. So we are hopeful that we put a rush on all of the analysis, and we are hopeful that by next Wednesday to Thursday, we will start seeing those sample results trickle in. And then once the final results are in and the final review and approval take place, we will be considering cancellation of the bottled water notice. So again, that remains the same. Both systems are the same, Sunny Mesa and Pajaro. And then just a note, there is bottled water available for the Sunny Mesa water system customers at the Pajaro Golf Course on Salinas Road. And for the Pajaro residents, there is water available, both potable water in bulk through a truck and bottled water available at the Moss Landing Middle School, as well as the Pajaro Park. And we will continue, at the very least, we will continue for Sunny Mesa at the golf course, and providing bottled water at the Pajaro Park until such time that the bottled water order is lifted.
Thank you very much, Don, for walking us through that great news about your initial results. I mean, that gives people a lot of hope that the second round of tests will be just as good. If you would stay on for some questions after we finish with all of our presenters, that would be great. Finally, not actually finally, but we have Daniel Gonzalez with us. He is remote. I think he's sitting in his car. He is at our local assistance center, which opened up this morning at 9 a.m. Daniel, how are things going there? And tell us about some of the services residents will be able to access.
Good afternoon, everybody. Daniel Gonzalez here at the LAC. So yes, as Maya indicates, the LAC has been up and running from since 9 a.m. We have seen roughly 80 households that have been coming down from Pajaro. We are seeing an uptick right now of residents coming into the LAC. I think the rain stopping was a factor for residents to start coming in. We have different agencies from the state and county, and also the Mexican consulate that just arrived like half an hour ago, providing services to residents. We have the Department of Social Services, state and local, providing assistance. We have several nonprofits that are here providing case management and information about services that are being provided in the community. We have Department of Insurance talking to residents about any queries they might have around insurance and the coverage for vehicles that they have that may have lost. We have Vital Records providing any, sorry, a car almost bumped into me in parking, sorry about that. So Vital Records providing free replacement of birth certificates, marriage certificates. We have the DMV also present, providing assistance to residents with replacement of IDs, driver's license. EDD is also in the building, providing support with unemployment petitions and other type of assistance. Also providing information about programs that are available for residents that may work in the fields and may be thinking about getting training for other type of work, so that they can mitigate the issue with the lack of employment in the fields during the time that's not available. So as you can see, we have a wide range of services, only to name a few, and we're definitely inviting the community to come. You know, I know that we've been through the media and social media, and our PIO has been blasting the message to the community to let them know that we are here. Transportation is being provided to residents from the Pajaro Middle School and to the Veterans Hall here in Watsonville. Also from the shelter at the fairgrounds, at the Santa Cruz County Fairgrounds, to the hall. We are providing transportation from MST to residents that wish to attend the LAC. So we would like everybody to spread the word and let residents know that they can come by and get services for free and information and resources so that they can overcome their situation at this point.
And a reminder, Daniel, you are in the Watsonville Veterans Memorial Building.
Correct. We are located at 215 East Beach Street at the Veterans Hall here in Watsonville to provide assistance as close as possible to the community of Pajaro.
Thank you very much, and stay safe. If you would stay on the call for some additional questions, and watch out for other drivers. Okay.
I will try to stay on the call. I have different also other media that are requesting information, and families that were asking me questions about the consulate. So I'll try to stick around, but I may disconnect. So let me know if you need anything and I'll be able to respond via email or text.
Thank you very much, Daniel.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And then I'd also like to invite Nick Pasculli, our communications director, to step in here and talk a little bit about an important visit that's happening this afternoon with our Lieutenant Governor. Hi, Nick.
Thank you, Maya. Thank you all. As you all know, the Lieutenant Governor is coming this afternoon to do a visit in the Pajaro area. And the purpose of our visit is to really look at the impacts on the agricultural industry. And so we have assembled a group of industry leaders as well as employees from some local farms to speak with the Lieutenant Governor to talk about the situation not only in Pajaro, but countywide. One of the things that I think is important to remember and important story to tell is that the impacts on agriculture are just not limited to Pajaro and the Pajaro Valley. It is countywide, up and down the Salinas River and in inland areas as well. So this is a focus of the Lieutenant Governor's visit. Joining us on that visit, we will have the Monterey County Farm Bureau representative, Grower Shipper Association, California Strawberry. We'll have folks from the Monterey Vintners and Growers Association, as well as some growers in the area that are strawberry growers and workers that have worked in the fields with one of the companies in Pajaro. So this is an important visit for the Lieutenant Governor. Simultaneously to that, we'll have CAL FIRE launching 2 drone missions so that we can give the Lieutenant Governor a bird's eye view of the damaged farmland from the levee break towards the Pacific Ocean. And we will be doing live broadcasts of those drone emissions this afternoon for the Lieutenant Governor's visit. So the media has been invited. And so if you are in the area and you want to stop by, the gathering point will be 416 Salinas Road, one of Healthy Harvest facilities, which is where the drone setup will be, as well as the Lieutenant Governor talking with the farmers and farm workers. And I think that's about it, Maya.
It's going to be a really wonderful visit, and what a great support this is for agriculture there, just to have her there listening to them and listening to their needs. We've got some questions that have come in, and let me I'm going to go to the chat first, and then I've also got some questions that came in via email. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the chat. This is for Laura. Are staff on hand to help with debris removal? Is there a need for volunteers for debris removal?
I believe I answered this in the chat, but the short of the long is we're very encouraging of people who want to come help to do so in an organized fashion by connecting with agencies or nonprofits that are providing that service already. So essentially, we don't want people to spontaneously show up on somebody's doorstep to help mucking out. We really want to connect people with organizations that are, able to organize large quantities of people and who would essentially be the ones engaging with the property owner for providing those types of volunteer services. And so you can connect with an organization by calling 211 or going to the volunteer center. Due to the complexity of the debris removal operation and generally the safety of the operations, considering how much heavy equipment is in the area, it is not feasible for the county to accept volunteers for the removal and hauling of debris that's in the county right of way specifically.
Thank you very much for that, Kelsey. And next question, this is from Felix. Felix, I don't know if you're on the line. Do you want to ask this question, or do you want me to just pick up your question in chat? I'm going to go ahead. There you
go
are.
for it, Mayo. I'm sorry. What question was it?
Bottled water.
Yeah, please.
This question is for Dawn from Felix from KSBW. Are you saying that the hope is to lift the bottle order by next week, depending on the second round of test results?
That is correct. We are hopeful that by Friday, the end of next week, we will be able to review and all sample results and get approval from the State Water Resource Control Board. That is, yes, Friday is the date that we are targeting at this point.
Thank you very much, Don. Then I've got some questions that came in by email, and I'm going to go ahead and start with those. And then if anyone has a question and they want to put their hand up, they can go ahead and do that. This question is for Laura. Where does progress stand for debris pickup? As of yesterday, there didn't seem to be much progress. And that could be, let's, dispel that perception problem.
Yeah, certainly progress is ongoing. I know that there was a slower start than we had hoped Monday due to the fact that we really just started dealing with a large amount of debris that had just sort of popped up in the area where we're going to start staging some of our heavy equipment. I know that the last 2 days, the crews have really been able to get off the ground running and make, some big progress on both some of the smaller residential streets and then along Salinas Road and on Railroad Ave. Our hope is tomorrow we'll be up to 6 crews so we can tackle even more within the town of Pajaro and also send crews out to some of the more outlying areas that were also impacted by flood. So certainly it's hard to quantify, I think, progress at this point, but we are moving very quickly along to try and move as fast as we can.
Could it also be the perception that there's no progress because once a street is picked up, people are moving items again out to the curb?
Absolutely. And that's even, something we've heard from residents is they're at least even waiting for us to come through, get some of the debris so they can continue to put out debris. So, the second we pick something up, usually there's more debris, coming out so we can continue to get that. So though it might visually be hard to see progress, certainly we are making progress.
And I did want to clarify this question that Felix asked about the waste management strike. The curbside debris removal program that's being operated by the County of Monterey that Laura is talking about is independent of waste management and this current strike that is occurring. If the community members are seeing a delay in services for their regularly serviced bins, it might be as a result of the waste management strike, and I recommend they reach out to their provider to get a better understanding of how their services will be impacted. But as of now, the curbside debris removal program that's being managed and operated by the county, where you see all the heavy equipment, that is not impacted by the waste management strike.
Thank you very much, Kelsey, for clarifying that. In fact, that helps answer another question that I had here via email. But I think this next question that I have is for you. What is the reason the bathroom, showers, and laundry facilities are being removed at Pajaro Park? Residents are saying it's inconvenient as the water isn't back for their full use yet.
Yeah, so the water is not drinkable, but you can bathe and clean your laundry in it, which is why we started reducing services at Pajaro Park, so that we could also return it to the community for regular use, which is a very significant component of recovery, is returning to or trying to return to normal day-to-day life as much as possible. And that park is really the heart of the community. And so because we were able to centralize a lot of those services at the Pajaro Middle School, we felt that it was appropriate to close the Pajaro Park. You will, however, still see a water tender and water dispensing at the park for the community, as well as health clinics. But we wanted to create more space for more organizations in the community to operate. And so as such, you'll find that the Pajaro Middle School is still offering showering and laundry, even though for residents who are able to return home, you can still do that within your dwelling. So that was part of the reason for downscaling.
Thank you very much for clarifying that. The next question is for Nick. Is the county hopeful that the Lieutenant Governor's visit will help push for the disaster declaration? And what is the hope for the visit? And Where does that process stand? I think that is in reference to the disaster declaration, which we know where it stands right now. But Nick, if you could talk a little bit more about how this Lieutenant Governor visit could help with that.
Yeah, so I think it's important to, put a spotlight on agriculture. I mean, after all, the economy of Monterey County is, very much ag-based economy, as well as tourism, hospitality and tourism. But ag certainly being a major driver, in particular in Pajaro, the Pajaro Valley, and throughout the Salinas Valley. Without a doubt, the damage to the fields is going to have an impact on supply and demand as we get into the spring. And I think the Lieutenant Governor wants to get a real good handle on that. The Lieutenant Governor is attending an agricultural conference in Monterey today and tomorrow as well. And so I think, it's important for her to be up to speed on the implications of the issues that we're facing here in Monterey County and what that's going to mean for the greater state and the state agriculture. Will it help? Everything helps. Anytime you can put a spotlight on an area, a community, the industry that supports that community, we certainly see that as a positive thing. And certainly the step that was made yesterday by the Governor Gavin Newsom, is a very positive step, a step in the right direction. And we couldn't be more happy that our partners at the California Office of Emergency Services helped to push that through, and they've been right by our side as our partner. So this is an important visit, as is any dignitary visit from whether it be the state or federal government.
We're certainly very lucky that you happened to be in Monterey close by to be able to make this visit happen a little easier, maybe for you and organizers as well. I have another question about food distribution. I think I can answer some of it, and hopefully maybe Kelsey might be able to answer what I don't know. Can someone run through how food distributions for Pajaro are working? Where are they taking place? And are they only for those in the shelters? We do have food distribution that's going on through Friday. It is at the Pajaro Middle School. It is 11 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon. It's walk up and take your meals, and they're hot meals. So you can take your meals and eat elsewhere. You can get a kind of a lunch and a dinner. And the services are continuing at the shelter, food, medical, all the other services that have been at the shelter are still continuing at the shelter. Kelsey, is there anything else I can add to food distribution?
No, you crushed it. Thank you.
Okay. And then we have one more question. Are Santa Cruz County organizations allowed into Pajaro to provide assistance, or is it limited to Monterey County? Kelsey, and I can answer some of that, or if you would like to address that, we can do it together.
Why don't you go first, and then I'll add on anything after.
So we do have a lot of nonprofits that are connected with our Emergency Operations Center, that we're coordinating services, information, getting word out into the community about, how to have needs met. And there's nothing legally that would prevent a service organization who had a, support or service they wanted to offer, but they might need to be aware of the complexity of going into the community right now, and how would they offer it? Where would they set up a booth? It's pretty crowded there, and there are a lot of services already being provided at Pajaro Middle School. So Kelsey, I'm thinking that if some organization wanted to offer a service in that area, they should connect up with the EOC and find out how they could provide the service, or what would be a good way to do that.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it, Maya. As I'm sure you're all aware, it's hustling and bustling in Pajaro right now with recovery and debris removal going on. Throughout this entire incident, the county of Santa Cruz and the city of Watsonville and those partner agencies in the Santa Cruz County operational area have been nothing but amazing partners. They've been so supportive. And it really has been one team, one fight in terms of all of us together working to overcome a really significant impact to the community. I know the Pajaro community really affiliates with their friends, family, and network that might be located in Watsonville or Santa Cruz County. And so much like our community, we are very appreciative and welcoming to Santa Cruz County community-based organizations and whatever support they might be able to offer. As Maya has said, there's a lot going on. And so it's best if CBOs or nonprofits who would like to come into Monterey County, we would love to have you. But if you could do so in an organized fashion by contacting the Monterey County Emergency Operations Center, either connect with the PIOs or through All In Monterey County, or through or by calling our landline 831, I think it's 796-1900. And we can bring you into the fold and get you working as soon as possible in the community. So again, thank you to our Santa Cruz and Watsonville partners. They have been just an amazing support as we all work through these significant challenges.
Thank you, Kelsey, and thanks for explaining and giving the contact information as well. Is there any, I've gone through all the relevant questions in chat. Is there anyone with a question? I see, Don, do you have something you want to add?
Yes, thank you. Let's keep in mind, kind of following up on that conversation and the answers you just gave as far as resources coming into the community. We do have some available space at the Pajaro Park. We might be able to accommodate a certain type of service, but it would, we'd have to talk it through, work it through to make sure that we wouldn't be clogging up all the other services. But we would be happy to listen and try to help in that wherever we can at the park.
Thank you. That was really helpful. And I know if anybody's out there, we can get you connected if someone wants to participate. Are there any other questions, either hand by hand or nothing's in the chat?
Hey, May, it's Felix.
Hey, Felix, go ahead
just-
with your question.
No, it was the two-part question. Kelsey answered the first one, but the second one was any concerns from the health department regarding trash beginning to pile up as a result of the waste management strike.
I did see that question, and we don't have anyone on the call that can answer that question, but I was going to forward that right afterwards and get that response for you. And Nick, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, and I think the only thing I wanted to add with regard to debris and debris removal, Laura and her team is doing an amazing job. But I think it's important for the community to know that we have had some reports of illegal dumping in Pajaro, and we want the community to know that that should not be happening. It's not helping the people, and it's not helping our disaster relief and recovery efforts. So please refrain from any type of illegal dumping in Pajaro.
Thanks, Nick. And I think there's also some thought that if residents are seeing that, if they're putting their curbside trash out and they see something that doesn't belong, there are a lot of resources in Pajaro where, if you go to the middle school, there's someone you could alert there to say, I've seen something that doesn't look right. We want to be able to find a way to get that information and, try to ferret out who might be doing this and how to find them if we can. Are there any other questions for today? Seeing none, thanks very much for
May,
joining
it's
us.
Felix.
Oh, go ahead, Felix.
So Ed Moreno's on the call, as is Karen Smith. Can they not address the issue of the strike and any health concerns?
Dr. Moreno, do you want to address that question? The question from Felix is, are there any concerns from the health department about trash beginning to pile up and any warnings or advice to residents?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Yeah, I'm just here to take questions if there are any questions for COVID-19. Otherwise, I'd recommend the questions be routed back to the EOC.
Thanks, Dr. Moreno. Yeah, Felix, in fact, Karen is right nearby, and I imagine she's working on that question right now. So if there are no other questions, thanks very much for joining us on the news briefing this week. Our next briefing is next week.
Ma'am,
Yeah, Victor.
I wanted to get a little more about the illegal dumping that's taking place. It's in Pajaro. Is it in the outskirts of Pajaro? I'm just kind of curious a little more about that. How many reports have kind of come in about that? I think that's it's unfortunate to hear.
So
Do you want to add more to that?
Yeah,
or
I-
Laura?
We don't have a tracking mechanism right now, Victor, because we just started getting some initial reports of that yesterday. So it's something that we're going to be keeping a close eye on. So we'll advise you as we learn more about that.
And one thing I would maybe add as well is,
You're on, I think you're on mute.
am I on mute?
Or no, I'm on mute. Go ahead.
Sorry. One thing I would add is a lot of it is been kind of near, at least what we've seen on like the railroad property, and some of it is truly flood debris. And so that is why we are working to create a drop-off point for residents so that truly people who have flood debris and who would like to drop it off will have an outlet to do it. So we are absolutely just do not want any illegal dumping to occur, but are also working to provide the community a drop-off solution for their debris so that there is an alternative to just a curbside pickup.
Thank you. Any other questions on this or any other topic? I don't want to wrap up if there's still questions. Okay, hearing none. Thanks very much again for joining us. Our next briefing is next week. We'll see you then. Thanks, everyone.